is rebuild time, and today we are taking our talents all the way to the west of France to rebuild Nantes. Now, I will say they are currently in the relegation places in Liga at the time of recording. They do have one final fixture of the league season to potentially save themselves, but a club like this really should not be in those relegation spots. If we take a look, if we go into the game and take a look at their overview, you can see they are 8-time winners of the French top flight, with the most recent one of those being in 2001. They are also 4-time winners of the Coupe de France, most recently in 2022. So that means we start with the actual Trophée de Champion, where we take on PSG in season number 1. But we don't have too much to rest upon with our laurels, because we have already won the Trophée de Champion. Obviously, that is the season opener. It's not the end of the world, but it is the season opener. We beat PSG. I'm going to touch on it right now. We beat PSG. Obviously, we go in as cup winners. Andy Delort absolutely rinsing PSG here with a hat-trick on his debut for the club. He is currently on loan from Nice. He looks very good as well. He is currently on loan, joining permanently at the end of the season. But if he keeps playing like that, that is not a problem for me. So we knock out PSG there. But in terms of the other competitions that we do have, guys, we do have the Liga. Obviously, we are in the Europa League. Whoa. And we do have the Coupe de France as well. Now, obviously, if we go and take a look at the league, PSG are, surprise, predicted to win the league, I would imagine. And they are at odds of 1-5, with the entire Media Dream 11 being the entire PSG team, minus Wassim Ben Yedder, who is, of course, the sole representative of Monaco in this particular instance. Marseille are predicted to finish in 2nd, Monaco in 3rd, Lyon in 4th, and we are predicted to finish in 8th. So you can kind of see the sort of difficulties that Nantes have been going through this season to find themselves in those relegation places. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we go. We need a tactic to push things forward, and this is a tactic that we are going to be using. Is 𝘼𝙗𝙗's most recently released tactic. It is Grogu version 2, or 2 in this particular instance. Yes, I know my French is woeful. Ludovic Blas is playing as our pinned player on the right hand side, and Moses Simon is going to be our pinned player on the left hand side. There's some other interesting players to talk about. Alban Lafont, a very good goalkeeper in this year's game. If you haven't seen him already, please do go and check him out. And obviously we do have Quinton Merlin, who we did have on the Versailles save, which I was doing over on Twitch, twitch.tv/𝘼𝙗𝙗game. If you want to see me play FM live, that is the way that you do it. He's a very good left back as well. So this team is actually quite good. I'm quite happy with it. We will be pinning these two in to their positions for the entirety of the save or the season. And I will say, you do that by ticking this box here when you go on holiday. We go on holiday and we use the current match tactics, and we use the current team selection when possible. So when those two aren't injured or on international duty, that is how things are going to be going. So let's get through season number 1 and see how things go. So guys, this is the end of season number 1. Obviously, we did touch on the Trophée de Champion that we already won with Andy Delort going big with his hat-trick. This is how the rest of the competitions look. And we do finish 2nd in the league, but I will touch on that one in just a second. We get knocked out in the round of 16 by Feyenoord in the Europa League. If we go and take a look at that one, you can see the score there, 5-2 on aggregate. A relatively disappointing performance, being knocked out by a Dutch team. We get knocked out in the 11th round of the Coupe de France, and I know what you're thinking, Steve. 11 sounds a lot in the French Cup, which it most certainly is, but the top tier teams don't come in until round 9. So we only got through 2 rounds before losing on penalties to Monaco. Now let's talk about the league, because the league was pretty darn good. I thought we did really well to finish in 2nd, beating Monaco out on goal difference to finish in 2nd. So we do qualify for the Champions League next season. Great. However, we are 20 points adrift from PSG. Now, ultimately, that's going to be the goal. I don't know how realistic that is to actually overtake PSG in this particular instance, because as you can see, Kylian Mbappe, 35 goals in the league for him. Andy Delort actually got 24 goals for us. He absolutely crushed it. The gap between ourselves and PSG is immense. As you can see, we did have a bit of a wobble towards the end of the season, and obviously losing to Feyenoord kind of put us on a little bit of a spell where we lost a couple games, but overall, I think we've done really, really well in this particular season. Obviously, World Cup break happened as well. But I think I'm quite happy with this particular team. If we go and take a look first of all at the finances, you can see £11.8 million to spend, which in France is quite good. I'm quite happy with that. If we go and take a look at the tactic, and we can see how these boys did, 𝘼𝙗𝙗 𝙈𝙚 actually excelled massively. 29 goals for him and 10 assists, so 39 goal contributions in 48 starts. Actually really hitting some really good heights here. Has some really good attributes as well, the high dribbling, the high passing and stuff, perfect for the position that he is playing with. And according to the 𝘼𝙗𝙗 show, he was part of the same French youth team as Kylian Mbappe nonetheless, so hopefully he can continue upon that upward trajectory for the rest of this particular rebuild, and hopefully we can hold on to him because he is currently wanted by Everton and Dortmund, so that's going to be interesting. But I'd like to think with Champions League football we will be okay. So if we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is what the game on our assistant manager is kind of saying. But if we move 𝘼𝙗𝙗 there and we move 𝘼𝙗𝙗 there, you can kind of see where the gaps are. We need a better central defensive midfielder. We need a better central midfielder, in my opinion. So I want to play 𝘼𝙗𝙗 out there on that right hand side because he had such a good season in season number 1. Let's get to spending that almost 12 million for season number 2. Let's see how we get on. Okay guys, so this is transfer update for season number 2 with Nantes, and we have no major outgoings to talk to you guys about really. There was a couple that happened in January last season, but it only amounted to £2.9 million, so there's no huge need to talk to you about them. We've been out and we've strengthened our team though. We have 𝘼𝙗𝙗 𝙈𝙚, if I'm going to say this dude's name. He comes in to play at centre back for us, 23 years of age, 6'3", comes in from Lille for £5 million. Could rise and probably will rise up to 8.5 million. He's a nice little player as well. Fabrizio Diaz comes in from Liverpool FC. No, not the one in England. He comes in from Uruguay. He's a nice, well-rounded central midfielder, again, to fit in one of those positions that we kind of did highlight that we kind of needed to improve on last season. Now, if you remember my Red Star save, Bojan Kovacevic is an absolute beast. We love big Bojan from that save. He's got 17 jump in reach. He is 6'2", and he's got 14 in his heading attribute. This guy will be a danger on set pieces. We paid £2 million for his services. I can never remember how to say this team's name in Serbia, so I apologize. I will not be saying it, but 3 good additions there. And if we skip forward, obviously we have the arrival of Andy Delort, who comes in as well. That was a pre-arranged transfer for £4.3 million for Nice. Big Rocco comes in as well on loan from Lille. He looks like a nicely well-rounded player as well, which you love to see. Andy Diouf comes in again, another loan player. Again, we're not going to talk about the loans too much. And then we've raided the Premier League bargain buckets. Yes, Reiss Nelson in this particular instance was released by Arsenal. He comes in on a free transfer to play either side, which is great. We needed a little bit of versatility there, and Reiss Nelson is a fantastic player to do so. 16 pace, 16 acceleration, 16 agility, along with 15 dribbling as well, makes him a problem. And Mohamed Elneny comes in to be the defensive midfielder. I said we needed to improve in those particular positions, and we definitely have done that. His stamina, natural fitness, and teamwork and work rate are all fantastic for Elneny. If we go and take a look at the tactic first and foremost, there will be a couple players that we will pin in certain positions. If we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how things kind of look at the moment. Simon on the left, Nelson on the right, Mollet in the hole, Delort, 𝘼𝙗𝙗, Elneny comes in. Obviously, we're still a little bit old in defense. I'm going to talk about this guy a little bit. 35 years of age, this guy. Absolute servant to Nantes, it would appear, signed in 2017. But he is 35 years of age now, so obviously that is going to be something that we're going to need to look at. I think we're a little bit too top heavy, but I think there's work to be done here. If we go and take a look at the competitions, we've already played the Trophée des Champions because I was eager to see how things got on. We're not going to look at it beyond this. It didn't go well. We lost 5-0 to PSG. Carry on, moving on.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no. Wait.
Get out! My eyes are bleached!
Obviously, we are back in the Champions League this season. No Europa League antics. We enter in the group stage because we finished second in France. We do have the Coupe de France, where I'm kind of hoping for a better showing this time around. And the board would like us to qualify for the Europa League in terms of our league placement. Now, we are always going to be striving for the Champions League in those first couple of spots. We are predicted to finish in 7th, which is slightly better than last season, but still not great. It looks like PSG have strengthened again. I'm looking at the likes of 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 in here now, making it a full PSG Media Dream 11. I'm hoping we can finish in at least second again and have a nice, respectable showing in the Champions League. So, Season 2 is in the books, and it's a second place finish for us yet again in the league. We've definitely closed that gap. It was 20 points on PSG last season. This season, only 4. We have really started to claw them in. We were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Coupe de France by Marseille, and we did get group staged in the Champions League, which if I expand that, you can kind of see why. We were in a Champions League group, guys, with Real Madrid, Dortmund, and Lazio. Yes, we finished bottom. Yes, we only got 1 point. Ultimately, I don't think any more would be expected from Nantes in this particular instance. Just the Champions League money will do very nicely, of course. Obviously, we will talk about 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 𝙈𝙚, which if we expand the full table, you can see Clermont, Saint-Etienne and Sochaux getting relegated. We finish in second, this time putting a nice bit of gap between ourselves and Monaco. We were level on points last season. There is a result in here, though, that I do need to touch upon. We beat PSG 5-0 at home. Now, is this a potential sign of things to come? Andy Delort got 2, Ludovic Blas got 3, going to show that we can get results against PSG when we wanted to. They were at full strength as well. They bought Moise Caicedo as well, so they really have strengthened. But looking at the stats of the game, we've really dominated them there, and I am incredibly happy with that as a result, and hopefully a sign of things to come. The results against Toulouse and Brest at the end of the season, really annoying, because I felt like we could have taken PSG this year. I do have to touch on some transfers that we did bring in at the end, or in the January transfer window, should I talk about. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 Kamara comes in from Angers. He is another big centre-back, a nice Frenchman, 21 years of age, 6'6". He's a big boy as well, 18 jumping reach on him. Looks like an absolute monster in-game. Diambu comes in, I believe that was on loan, for 4 million, from RB Salzburg. Sorry, I read the wrong column there. He comes in to be another defensive midfielder option. Him and Elneny can kind of swap in and out. Looks like an athlete is all I'm going to say. 15 pace, 14 acceleration, 15 agility on him. And then Ivan Fresneda. Now, if you've not seen my Wonderkid video, this is potentially the best right back in the game after the winter update. He is fantastic coming from Real Valladolid. He looks absolutely incredible attribute wise, mentally and physically. He is elite tier already, and he's only 19 years of age in this particular simulation. It costs 10 mil now, and will probably rise to 12.5 million. I believe when we signed him it came for 5 mil up front, and then obviously the bonuses that we've then had to pay to Valladolid for his services have kind of pushed us over the top. But the team is looking good, and the finances are looking okay. We've got just about 6 million quid to spend for season number 3. Hopefully closing that gap on PSG more. I feel like they're reachable. I really feel like they're reachable. Right, it is season 3 time, and we mean business. We've been out and we've been frugal in the transfer market. Let's talk about the players that we brought in on free transfers. To start with, Antonio Blanco comes in on a free transfer, obviously from the Castilla. He gets released in basically every single save known to man. So if you're after a bit of a bargain for a central midfielder, please do go and pick him up. Josh King comes in as a backup striker. He can also play on that left-hand side. Comes in on a free transfer. He's 32 years of age now, but he's still fast. 16 pace, 16 acceleration, 15 finishing. Offers enough, to be honest, to still warrant a spot in this particular team, and he can play in a lot of positions. Andreas Noppert comes in. He is a backup goalkeeper, obviously, to Lafont, who I do have to touch on. Actually did break the clean sheet record in Liga last season, so you can see how good this team is. Noppert comes in as a backup goalkeeper, and this is a very interesting pickup. Wassim Ben Yedder, he is still a player, and he will be playing in that shadow striker role because he is 33 years of age. He has been released by by Monaco, but I still feel like he's got some football in him. So he comes in for us and also is potentially going to turn into a staff member at some point soon. He is currently a player coach for us, but his staff attributes leave a lot to be desired. Now, the player at the top, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪𝙩 𝙈𝙚 is how I'm going to butcher this guy's name. The Wonder Kid Finder filter has been out again. If you want to get your hands on this, it is linked in my Discord. Links to the Discord are down below. It is an absolute gem of a filter. We've got this guy in on loan, £4.5 million for the loan. He is a new gen. He comes out of Troyes and he looks exceptional already. It's a loan with an option to buy, which I can't remember the fee. Optional future fee, 10.75 million. So it is there if we want to get it, but high teamwork, high passing, high technique already. He's only 17. And yes, I'm using 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪𝙩 new face filter here because he looks fantastic, doesn't he? So we've got him on loan with a view to buy. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. I think he's pretty high potential. Let's see what we can do with him. If we go into the competitions, again, we have the exact same competitions as last season. We've already played the Trophée des Champions because I wanted to see how the team got on. We were runners up in that one. Again, if we expand that, you can kind of see PSG doing PSG things. On Coupe de France, Champions League, and the Ligue 1 Uber Eats. The board wants us to qualify for the Europa League this time around. If we take a look at the season preview, we are now predicted to finish in 6th. We are slowly but surely climbing up the places, but they predict us to finish in 6th, but there are several teams on 33-1 from Marseille, Lyon, Nice, and ourselves. We are all 33-1 to win the division. PSG 1-10. So the smart money's on PSG, but who doesn't like an underdog? PSG also got Andreas Villas-Boas as their manager for season number 3. Right, let's get to simulating and see how the team do for season number 3. So the end of season 3 is here, and PSG have not won the title, but neither have we. Neither have we. Lille win Ligue 1. PSG finish in 2nd and we finish in 3rd. 1 point behind PSG. We definitely clawed PSG back again, but 1 point behind PSG. 2 points behind Lille, who do go on to win the title. If I expand the schedule, this woeful run of form towards the end of the season has basically cost us the title. We were top in January. We lost to Monaco, we lost to Lille, we drew with Toulouse, we lost to Troyes, and we lost to Nice as well. That run really cost us, and we do finish in 3rd, which does mean we qualify for the Champions League. We're going to have to qualify for the qualifiers, if that makes sense. I've definitely butchered that. But ultimately, a frustrating season in the league. Let's talk about the cups though, because they were much more successful. The Coupe de France, we won it. We took on Lens in that final and we win it for the first time in this simulation, reclaiming what was Nantes at the start of this particular save. 2-0. Reece Nelson and Andy Delort with the goals for us. Luis Openda scored the final consolation goal for Lens, but it was too late. We were definitely the better team in this one, edge in possession, but everything else was relatively close. But we win ourselves a trophy, ladies and gents. A Coupe de France is very, very good. We get through the get through the group stages, or the league phase of the Champions League, as it's season 3, and we got into the round of 16 of the Champions League, where we took on Man City and lost quite badly, but Erling Haaland scored 2, Phil Foden scored 2, and Ronald Araujo scored 2 as well in the second leg at the Etihad. So no disgrace losing to Manchester City, in my opinion. So let's move forward and talk about some of the players in the team. We have to talk about our man 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪𝙩, because he has developed an absolutely fantastic amount. He's not really kind of lit the world up. He's, in terms of his actual output, 2 goals, 1 assist. He actually got himself 14th in the NXGN ratings as well for the youth Wonder Kid sort of filters and all that good stuff. He is due to join up with the international squad, which is nice. He's representing France at under 21 level, despite his fact that he is still only 18. And attribute wise, he has developed an absolutely fantastic amount. He started 12 games, came on as a substitute 26 times this season, so I'm pretty confident we are going to be activating that purchase thing there. If we go and take a look at the competitions one more time, let's have a look at the league, because there is is one more thing I do want to show you guys. In terms of goal scoring, we are the second best team, just 3 goals behind PSG, but our problem has been our conceding. If you flip it around the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are the 6th best team in terms of our defensive output. Lens, who finished 9th, finished better than us. That's the area that we are really going to need to improve on, guys. I think we do need a central defender. Obviously, I feel like with Merlin and Fresneda, the 2 centre-backs, as you can see, that have been pinned in, are great. Elite tier, but I think we're really struggling at that centre-back mark. We've got £24.4 million to spend. Obviously, some of that consecutive Champions League money is coming in real nice now. Let's go and find ourselves an elite tier centre-back to really take this team to the next level. PSG have shown some vulnerability. Next season, season number 4, it's ours. I can feel it. So season 4 is here, and let's talk transfers for this team, because we've had a couple of outgoings as well, for amounting to a little bit of cash. As you can see, Florent Mollet leaves on a free transfer. He leaves at the end of his contract. He is a player that I feel like we've got better than, to be honest. Mamadi Diambu leaves as well for £4.8 million. He is a majority of this 5 mil that you can see on your screen right now. Now let's talk about the players that are in. We've signed Nuno Santos on a free transfer from Sporting. He comes in, however, he is now crocked. He's got a damaged Achilles and he's going to be out for 3 to 4 months, but a free transfer nonetheless is not the end of the world. Steven Berghaus comes in to play on the right hand side. Again, a nice little squad player, 33 years of age, but sometimes you need that experience in your squad, guys. Don't necessarily build around all these youth players when no one's actually been there, done it and accomplished stuff. It does pay to have some of the older boys in there. Timothy Pembele comes in, obviously the former PSG right back, again well-rounded, a nice little backup to Fresneda. And our man is here. We did pull the trigger, £10.75 million to bring Thiago to the club full-time. He is our player. He is going to be our leading striker soon, because he is now valued at 35 to 52 million pounds. This guy is going to be an absolute beast. If we go and take a look at the tactic and we quick pick our best 11, you can kind of see he's already claimed that spot. We're now very well balanced. Oh, I missed the transfers for you guys, sorry. We got our business done really early on this guy. We needed a centre back, a French leader, and we've gone out and got one. Anthony 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙦 is how I'm going to butcher this guy's name. I have listened to clips of how to say it. I listened to him at the weekend and I cannot for the life of me remember. Again, he is fantastic. We had him at Versailles as well. Great jump and reach, great physicals, great mentals. He definitely is that improved centre-back that we do need. If we go and take a look at the team and the tactic, though, this is our quick pick without restriction, our best 11. Obviously, we've got a few faults here, but well balanced in my opinion. Lafont, Fresneda, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙦, Jallo, Merlin, Blanco, El Neni, Nelson, Blas, Santos, and our man Thiago up top. We've kind of flip-flopped now. We were better offensively than we were defensively, and I think we've kind of flipped it the other way around. We've really strengthened in terms of our defense, so I'm hoping the defensive output of this team is much better. If we flick back over to the competitions tab, another trophy in the trophy cabinet. Trophy de Champion is here. We win that one on penalties, beating Lille. Steven Berghaus scores a goal for us in the 25th minute, and then Jonathan Bamba scores in the 34th minute to equalise, but it goes all the way to penalties. We miss 1, they miss 2. We win 8-7 on aggregate, absolutely on the penalty shootout, sorry, not on aggregate. So we absolutely smashed it there. Really happy with that one. Obviously Coupe de France, Champions League, and the league. Obviously we are expected to now qualify for the Champions League, guys, so it kind of has ticked up a bit. Obviously the coefficient has changed. We now get 4 Champions League spots. So if we go into the season preview, we are now predicted to finish in 4th, which is amazing. Tagliafico breaks up the PSG dominance in that Media Dream 11. PSG are now only 3-10 to win the title, having not won it the season before. It's very interesting how the game rates this. It's obviously done on player ability and stuff like that, but if they didn't win it last year, I'm not so confident they're going to win it this year. So we are going to simulate season number 4 of this Nantes rebuild. Let's see if we can knock PSG off their perch. So guys, before we get into how season number 4 did, there is some transfer business that I do have to update you on. There are several outgoings happening in that early January winter window. Let's first of all talk about 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙤𝙗. He goes to Trabzonspor for £6.5 million. One of the centre backs that we have already signed in this particular save. He is now gone. £6.5 million for him. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙤𝙗, he has also gone. £8 million over to Everton. When the Premier League comes calling, guys, you need to rob them blind. And then 𝘼𝙗𝙤 goes over to Crystal Palace. Again, another Premier League or English based club. We got to use their money, we got to reinvest it in our players, and we kind of have done that there. Coual is a player who I did not mention. He came in as a loan basically because Santos was injured. As you can see, he is joining permanently at the end of June. Callum McGregor came in from Newcastle for £4.7 million. Super well-rounded player. He's old, but he still gets the job done. Leo Pereira comes in on a free transfer. Again, an oldie but a goodie. Jorge Palacio comes in, this new gen. He looks fierce as well. We're into finding our new gens with that Wonder Kid filter. 19 determination, driven personality. You know this guy's going to turn into an absolute monster. And £1.1 million for his services. Unreal. Xavi Sanchez, another one who came in as well. Centre-back that we kind of looked. We had a couple centre-backs leave, so we kind of had to replace some. So things went all pretty well here. The team kind of does pick itself for the most part. Competitions time. PSG won the league by 12 points. I don't really want to talk about it. They knocked us out of the Champions League as well. And if we go into the Coupe de France, they won the bloody final as well. So they knocked us out of every single cup competition that we could have had, which is really annoying. We are runners up in the Coupe de France. They knocked us out in the semi-finals. 2 French teams get into the semi-finals of the Champions League. Doesn't happen every single day, but every now and again PSG seem to have the ability to slice us open. 6-1 in the second leg at the Parc de France. 3 for Evanilson, 2 for Mbappe, and 1 for Moise Caicedo. They were the better team, no doubts about it. Nordi Mudieke is there as well. Josko Gvardiol, Caicedo, Mikel Moreno. You can kind of see that they've Trincao, bloody hell, Ahmed Lozic. They've really boosted this team, and you can kind of see that it's a reason why they've gone all the way. Did they win the Champions League? Was it a treble? Please don't say they won the treble. Oh, I don't know yet. I've not gone far enough into the future. Hopefully they don't win a treble, because that'll be really annoying. But yes, PSG do go on to win the league as well. We are back to 12 points adrift. I feel like a key defensive midfielder is going to be the big difference for our boys here. If we go and take a look at the stages of this and we expand the league, you can kind of see goal scoring, best goal scoring team in the league. No qualms about it. Defensively, again though, kind of a little bit better than we were last season. We are the 5th best team in terms of defensive output, but I feel like we could really tighten things up. Obviously, I am aware that this tactic does score a lot of goals, but it's not the best defensively, but it is a very good, entertaining one nonetheless. But yeah, if we kind of move and talk defensive midfielders, I think we're going to be in a good spot. I have to talk to you about this man. He's just he is everything you want in a striker. He is phenomenal. He scored 32 goals, got 11 assists in all of his competitions this season. He's still only 19 years of age. He's 5'9", 17 dribbling, 16 first touch, 16 free kicks, 17 passing, 17 technique. He's got it all, guys. He's a professional as well. He's now listed as a wonder kid. He is absolutely fantastic, and I have to talk to you about this guy because he actually won the NXGN award this year. He is the best wonder kid in this game right now. 45 to 64 million pounds for this guy, and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 I think is going to go on to do special things in this team. Also have to shout out this guy. He's done fantastic for us. Coual, he came in obviously on loan. 22 goals and 10 assists. Good. You can see why we're signing him. He looks very good as well. So let's talk season number 5, because we've got season number 5 coming up. We've got £12.2 million to spend, and as I said, I feel like we kind of need an elite tier defensive midfielder. If we go and quick pick without restrictions our best 11, this is how the team is looking. We are really good. We're kind of lacking in that midfield area again. Callum McGregor is a central midfielder. I'm not loving it. I feel like we could definitely do a little bit better. Let's go and see what we can do for season number 5. Okay, so before we get into season number 5, this is the point in Rebuild where I ask, if you are still watching the video, please do comment something down below. And as we're in France and as we're having that battle, I want you to comment down below anyone but PSG. That's who we want to win the league in season number 5. Anyone but PSG. So, diving into season number 5's transfers, let's start early because we brought in Under from Marseille. Again, a nice winger to play in multiple positions in this tactic, which is exactly what you need, especially when you're holiday and you need versatility in a lot of these positions, and he definitely offers that for us. And then obviously some of the other players, Kuawa, obviously we mentioned he was coming in after his loan for 5 million quid. He is just so fast. 17 acceleration, 17 agility, 17 pace, and 17 dribbling. 17's all round for the boy, along with his 16 flair. Now, I said we needed a defensive midfielder, and Morita comes in to strengthen the Japanese international. He is brilliant. He kind of gets overlooked at Sporting because of 𝘼𝙗𝙗, but he is very, very good as well. 31 years of age, again, slightly on the older side, not necessarily the 𝘼𝙗𝙗. This guy's an elite tier central defensive midfielder. He comes in to be our new CDM. He does have a slight knock and he'll be back in 5 weeks, but that's fine. And Silas, if you watch Danny Aarons, you will know who Silas is. He comes in to be another versatile option. Again, came in on a free transfer, good on both wings. 6'2", high pace, high agility, acceleration, all of that good stuff. He came in from Stuttgart. If we quick pick, we are on a filter. Hold on one second. If we quick pick without restriction, our best 11, this is how the team is looking right now, guys. We've got some really good options. I'm tempted with this guy, Jorge Palacio. He has come back from his loan in Colombia. We bought him last season, loaned him straight back out. I'm thinking he might be the shadow striker, guys. I think he might be the answer to all of our prayers, and if not, he might be a good player on this save if you wanted to pick up this save moving things forward. But I think in terms of the team, I think this is a title-winning team. Alba Lafont, Fresneda, Rualt, whose name I butcher every time, Leal Pereira, Merlin, obviously Morita coming in, really strengthening that defensive midfield position. Blanco's blossomed into a very good player this time around. Obviously, I think we're going to do this, guys. I think we're going to do this. Jorge Palacio, I think this is going to be the lineup. Blah, Palacio, Santos, and then our main man up top, Thiago, who is going to have the best season of his life. I am sure of it. Let's talk competitions, though. We do have the same 3. We do have the Trophy de Champion. I've not played it this time because I think this could be a special year. I really do think this could be a special year. Obviously, the board are expecting us to get to the quarterfinals of the Coupe de France, so we will have to see how that goes. We got the Champions League. We are expected to get in the Champions League again, and if we have a look at the odds, we are now predicted to finish in 3rd. We have the same odds as Monaco and Lille at 20-1. The rest is PSG, but they are now just 1-4. They have been as long as 1-10 in terms of their pre-season odds. I feel like we're on the cusp of a good season. Let's simulate season 5 and see what happens. Okay, guys, I said I had a feeling, and season number 5 did not disappoint. It is a domestic treble. We finally got over the hump and beat PSG. In the Trophy de Champion, the season opener, we beat PSG 3-1. Thiago, Palacio, and Reece Nelson getting the goals, and we're not going to talk about the guy who scored for PSG, but we win that game 3-1. We take on, in the Coupe de France, we take on PSG again. We beat them 1-0 in the final this time. Jorge Palacio, our young Colombian, who came back, obviously, from his loan spell, scored in the 93rd minute this season in the Coupe de France final. Obviously vindicated on bringing him back. In the Champions League, we got to the quarterfinals again, only to come up against English opposition. We get knocked out, but only 2-0 on aggregate to Newcastle, who obviously with all their millions, Shakir, Divine Wrench, Diomande, Ibanez, Luca Net, João Paulinho, Bruno Guimaraes, like Moussa Diaby, Sheldrup, Isaac. This team is stacked, so I'm not surprised that we didn't get over the line against them. So no shame losing to a team from England, being the sole French representative in there. Obviously, we do have the league as well, and we managed to beat PSG by 4 points, guys. If I expand this league table, so you can kind of see we had 3 losses all season: Montpellier, Brest, and PSG. We only conceded 22 goals all season. That was the joint best with PSG, but we outscored them as well. So 3 better goal difference, plus 53 goal difference, 79 points. Absolutely smashed it. So let's go and have a look. I'm going to pull up the tactics screen because I think that's going to be very interesting as well. Let's talk about Georges Palacio. This guy, obviously, we bought him for dirt cheap, £1.1 million. He came in this season, first season as a starter, 12 goals, 7 assists, and he actually came fourth in the NXGN as well. So he absolutely crushed it. Him and our main man Thiago up top, they really did a number. Let's talk about Thiago. He looks fantastic now, attribute-wise, off the chain. He is a monster, and he's now wanted by Manchester United. He is a star player in this league. 73 to 100 million pounds for this French youngster. Off the ball's improved massively. His physicals have improved. 15 acceleration, nothing to be sniffed at. Technically, he's fantastic as well. I love this guy, man. He looks like such a player. Really happy about him. Obviously, there are some other players to touch on. If I go onto the not the home screen, if I go onto the competition screen, that's the one you can kind of see. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 is how I'm going to say this guy's name. Came in from Newcastle, not expecting great things from him. 22 goals and 9 assists again this season. He's been an absolute revelation since coming in on loan in that first instance. This season averaged a 7.29. He's done very well. There's a couple of other players that I do want to touch on. Big Anthony come in, has really revolutionized our seasons since he's been here. Scored 12 headers, which is pretty darn good, isn't it? 12 headers or 12 goals. But they're not all necessarily headers. I can almost guarantee they're all headers. In his 50 appearances, so a goal every 5 games for a centre-half. Pretty darn good. And I also want to touch on 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙗𝙪. Obviously, I'm a little bit mixed on 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙗 𝙗𝙪 because in every single time I played him when I was at Versailles, he made a mistake. But in this particular instance, he's been amazing. Kept clean sheet records left, right, and Christmas. He looks like a phenomenal player. So we have rebuilt Nantes. We've won them a treble in the league. We've kind of knocked PSG off the top of the league. If you did want to carry on this save, you can do so. It will be linked in my Discord. Links to my Discord will be down in the description. Please do come and join the Discord community and pick up this save for yourself and see if you can keep hold of that absolute monster up top. If you do like the rebuilds though, guys, check out this playlist. It's all the rebuilds that we've done on this year's game so far.